Now then, there were scenes of what the papers are inevitably calling Madonna mania at Heathrow Airport last night. There you go, as the singer arrived for a series of concerts. As well as the hundreds of fans, you can just see a few of them there, who mobbed her at the airport, Madonna will also be playing to another 300,000 over the next week, starting in Leeds tomorrow night and following up with a 3-night stint at Wembley Stadium. Gary Imlack, our reporter, has been looking at her startling career.
Madonna walked into Heathrow Airport last night. It looked as though she was born to be the centre of attention. But the fame she thrives on, she's had to strive for. News of her arrival now is enough to knock the royals off the front pages. But there was a time when Madonna Ciccone, a young Michigan girl in New York, was prepared to pose nude to be noticed. Then, in 1983, came the record that ended her struggling, Holiday.
If we took a holiday, took some time to celebrate.
Since then, a combination of classic pop songs, hard work and a certain sexiness have brought her sales of 55 million copies worldwide and made Madonna one of the most successful singing artists ever. Her teasing stage outfits and provocative routines are often attacked by the more moralistic. Yet most of her fans aren't admiring men, but young girls, who see her as the rebellious big sister they'd like to be.
She's pretty and I like the way she dances, and she's always changing.
And not just costumes. Despite her record sales, Madonna is determined to crack films. Her first, Desperately Seeking Susan, was a cult success, but Shanghai Surprise flopped, and Who's That Girl looks likely to follow. It seems the more attention Madonna gets, the more she craves. The venue for her marriage to Sean Penn was kept secret until half an hour before the ceremony, thus ensuring worldwide attention. Her legions of minders are there more to preserve Madonna's mystique than her privacy. And although she no doubt genuinely regrets the melee at Heathrow Airport last night, the end result is more Madonna mania. On the basis of her world tour so far, the fans' excitement is justified. Leeds and London can expect a stunning 2-hour exhibition of stagecraft from one of the greatest exhibitionists in the world. Whether she'll ever achieve the Hollywood immortality she covets remains to be seen. But as Madonna looks forward to her 29th birthday on Sunday, at least she needn't worry about the title of her latest hit.
Gary Imlack reporting, and he'll be with us on the sofa on Monday to review Madonna's first Leeds concert. Should be quite an event. But what is the secret to Madonna's success? What makes her such a superstar? We've been joined by Paul Gambaccini. Good morning again.
Good morning, Kate.
Why is she a superstar?
Well, she's Italian-American. That's quite obvious.
But apart from that.
Right. Well, she has all the features that are required nowadays for pop stardom. Yes, she has a good enough voice. She's good at producing records. But also, she has that eye to the ground for fashion, in the same way that David Bowie had his ear to the ground in the 70s and was able to pick up on new styles before they became massively consumed. And one thing that Madonna does have, you see, is this mastery of the video. Now, in the 60s, Bob Dylan, for example, gave no consideration to his visual appearance. How would he fare in the video age? We don't know. Then people were interested in what he had to say. Well, now, with Madonna, people are more interested in how she looks, how she performs, how she behaves, and she does it perfectly. She's got those videos down. She knows that you don't have to make a successful long feature film as long as you're making those successful 4-minute long videos.
So as I mentioned yesterday, she is as much a sex symbol as a rock singer, really, isn't she? And we saw some of the young girls who are called wannabes because they want to be like Madonna on the film earlier on.
That's right. Well, yes, but a sex symbol, you see, not so much to the men, although of course there are men who look at her in that way, but to the younger women who think, I can be a sex symbol myself. And I think it's very important that we point out that of all the popular female artists in the rock era, she is the first to have wide-scale adulation of the type of being met at the airport. Connie Francis did not have this. Aretha Franklin, Donna Summer. To even consider it is sort of odd. But Madonna has generated this among her young fans.
She is a superstar. Is she the power behind the throne, or is there someone else there who's manipulating her?
Oh, I'm sure she's the one who's totally in control here. She is a shrewd woman. She knows what she wants, and she knows how to get it, at least in the recording field. No one could plan this for her, you see, because she has to know what she's capable of. and she has to come up with the ideas herself. No male manager, and she does have a male manager, could understand the female perspective as she so cannily does.
So she's changed her image to the Marilyn Monroe lookalike. That was her idea. I mean, I preferred her with the ribbons and the bows and all the wonderful long hair, and she looked sexier to me.
Well, yes, but you see, the essence of pop is novelty, and the fad element goes out of something after a year or two with the same image, and that's why you've always got to keep changing your appearance. Now, some people, it doesn't work. We talked about Debbie Harry. You see, she changed her hair color, and it was all over, unfortunately. Well, Madonna knows somehow how to go from image to keep it exciting and current, and that way she is like David Bowie was in the 1970s, always shocking people, keeping them interested in how she looks.
Do you think her fans then have got a wonderful treat in store for us? She's only here for 4 days, isn't she? Well, doing 4 different concerts. Have they got a lot in store for them?
Oh, yes. I mean, you know, I think this can be overestimated. For example, I think as many people turned out as Heathrow Airport as queue up for returns for Phantom of the Opera every night. But I do think that Wembley is sold out for all those nights, which is something, because in America, not every big show has gone clean, as they say, sold every ticket. She's done very well, but even here, she's bigger. And I think that's a very exciting event, that people are going to see this. And I think this is almost the most long-awaited debut by an American artist in Britain since the one that never happened, which was Elvis.
We'll talk about that later on. Unfortunately, though, she isn't as popular as a film star or as successful as a film star as she is a rock star. And I believe her latest film, Who's That Girl, has in fact bombed in America, for want of a better word. And we've got our showbiz editor, Jason Pollock, on the phone to tell us about it. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Kay. How are you?
I'm very well. Tell us about Who's That Girl. Have you seen it?
Well, I have, yes. I went to the premiere last week in New York. I'm now in Los Angeles. I've been reading all the crits and the trades, and unfortunately, the film does not work in America. They're calling it a bomber, a turkey, a basement-level movie, would you believe? It just hasn't worked at all. And what's happened, it's opened in 950 cinemas coast to coast, and it's taken just $2 million. Now, that's not enough to make a hit film. And what's happening, apparently, is that they're going to take it off circuit within a couple of weeks and put it into video, and then eventually pay TV, just in an attempt to try and recoup some of the costs. It's lost a lot of money, Kay.
It seems to be the second time that she's flunked out as a film star. Is that the end of her film star career?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, as Gambo was just saying, she made a great success of her first movie. Her second movie bombed, unfortunately. I think because she's so popular on the concert circuit and so popular as a recording artist, they'll give her another go. But Who's That Girl? And she was putting a lot of effort into this. It hasn't worked for her. She's very, very popular on the concert circuit and as a recording artist, but just not as a film star.
Have you heard through the grapevine at all whether she's been offered anything else yet or not? Are they waiting to see how this film goes down?
Just before she came to Britain, discussing with Jerry Weintraub, there were 2 parts on offer. One was Peter Pan, would you believe? And the other is Evita. The film of Evita is about to be made. And again, Jerry Weintraub, the producer, has the rights to that film. And I think the material girl Madonna would make an excellent Evita. What do you think?
I think that's probably very true, but I don't think I'd put my money behind it just at the moment, seeing how she's done so far. Give us a quick rundown on what's going to happen next.